is not about cutting Sandra Hüller down to size. To be clear, she is a phenomenal actor who has an enviable career, working on amazing projects and getting recognized for the absolute acting badass titan that she is. This video is about this statement and this statement only, and how you, as an actor who is at the beginning of their career or exploring avenues into drama school auditions, should not be taking this advice. Now look, I'm not here to police you, I'm not here to tell you what to do, I'm not here to shout on high in a snobbish manner that you must have respect for the craft and that there is only one way of doing things, and if you don't do everything exactly to the letter, then the acting gods will descend from the heavens and they will smite you. None of this will happen. But I have been doing this acting coaching, drama school audition panel sitting and directing malarkey for a number of years, enough to know that running before you can crawl is not going to yield the results that you want. So we are going to break down what Sandra's statement actually is, what it means to you, and what I would recommend you do instead. But before we dive in, if you are new here, then hello, I am Louise. I am an acting coach, and I've been helping actors for a number of years now get offers at some of the top drama schools in the UK and overseas. And along with one-to-one coaching, I've built an online coaching platform which is called Act Cool, and it's got loads of training videos and resources and tools and all of that good stuff so that you can get ahead of the crowd, so that you can make this audition season the one where you actually get some success and it gets you feeling super confident, super prepared, and super in control of your audition season. So if you're interested in signing up for that, all of the details are in the description box below. So let's get back to Sandra, let's get back to her statement, and let's put it back into the context where it belongs. Okay, so Sandra Hüller, for those of you who don't know, did a brilliant film a couple of years ago called Anatomy of a Fall. And it is brilliant. Highly recommend it. Great acting, great script, great chemistry on set, fantastic stuff. Now, Sandra was asked in an interview when she was promoting the film, what was her process for this very specific fight scene between her and her husband.
You are not a victim. Not at all. Your generosity conceals something dirtier and meaner. You're incapable of facing your ambitions and you resent me for it, but I'm not the one who put you where you are. I've nothing to do with it.
And her response was that she simply learned the lines. And you might be thinking, wow, just that? All she needed to do was show up having committed some words to memory, and then perfect performance just kind of tumbled out of her. And so many actors, professional and beginner, loved this. And they assumed that this is the way that we should all be approaching process when we step onto a film set. And I say to you, fools. No, 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 no. This is not what it's all about. This is not an invitation to do away with every single element of process. Stop, halt, desist. I'm calm. Now there are a few things that we are going to talk about right here, right now, in this video, to clear all of this up. Sandra's experience, trust in a director, and this not being an audition. These are the three elements that separate Sandra's just learn the lines process to what you are going through with your auditions. So let's go through them. Sandra's experience. By the time that Sandra had shown up on the set of Anatomy of a Fall, she had numerous professional credits under her belt, extensive experience on film sets, as well as theatre productions. She trained for 6 years in acting in Berlin, and she also had a few film awards under her belt. Now, I want you to think back to when you were first learning how to ride a bike or drive a car. At first, the practice is excruciating and slow and difficult, and incrementally over time, you get better and better, until eventually you are changing gears automatically whilst following the sat-nav, whilst holding a conversation with the person in the passenger seat, all at the same time. The practice becomes natural the more experience you have. Sandra is an expert driver, and you still got your L plates on and you were stalling at roundabouts. You and Sandra are not the same. So when Sandra says that all she does is learn the lines for this epic scene, I actually don't doubt it. I 100% believe that that is what Sandra experienced in the moment. She committed words to memory, she showed up on set, and she did her job. Easy peasy, on to the next. But she has the luxury to be able to say this and to be able to experience this because of her extensive training and notable career up until this point. So what appears on the surface to be bare minimum process is in fact the accumulation of decades of experience, learning, trial and error, and bloody hard work. And if you don't have that, then you can't just show up and learn the lines. You need a process, and you need to put that work in ahead of time because it isn't ingrained, it isn't automatic. And you don't have the luxury of depending on a process that simply isn't there. Let's move on. Trust in the director. This is Justine Treat, a highly decorated and experienced film director who just so happened to have directed Anatomy of a Fall. Now, when you're directing on a film set with extremely experienced and talented actors, your job is twofold. One, to guide your actors towards a shape and a vision that you have in your creative mind without telling them exactly what to do. To mold and influence without stifling them and suffocating them. Two, to trust your actors to explore and play with freedom. As the director, you are both the container and the guide, and the actors rely on you as the director, as the outside eye that they do not have. And this is a crucial part of this whole thing. Sandra wasn't doing it alone. She had her scene partner and she had Justine there helping her. It was a shared effort. It was truly collaborative. And sadly, in an audition situation, you're on your own. You don't have a director, and most of the time you don't have another actor that is there to help you share the load. It's all on you. And that is even more reason to have a sturdy process to back you up, because you aren't just one part of the equation, you are all of it. And the final piece of the puzzle, the last element that sets you and Sandra apart, is that her performance in Anatomy of a Fall was not an audition. She already had the job, and probably by the time it came to shooting that particular scene, she'd been on that film set for a good few weeks. So the crew and the cast and the creatives were up to speed, and they were operating like a well-oiled machine. And there would have been discussions, there would have been rehearsals, there would have been blocking, and above all, there would have been multiple takes, multiple attempts at that scene to get the end result that you see in the fully edited version of that film. Sandra had the luxury of multiple takes, meaning that she could try things out, she could experiment, she could explore, she could take risks, all without the fear of it not working out. Because on a film set, repetition is commonplace. An audition, however, is one shot and you go in cold. You walk in, you introduce yourself, you perform, and that's it. The stakes are clearly higher, the margin for error is much narrower, and the chance of nerves are inevitable. It is simply not the same environment. And therefore, you can't draw upon the same process, because that process of just learning the lines and showing up is inherently unreliable, and you want your audition to be a reliable performance. And that isn't to say that experimentation and trying things out and being playful and getting curious, that is banned from an audition room. On the contrary, I welcome it with open arms. But if that is all that you are showing up with and you don't actually have a sturdy foundation with which to put your performance on, then it is going to crumble. So, in conclusion, don't look at out of context quotes from actors who clearly have much more experience than you and think that if you apply their minimal approach process, you are going to yield the same results that they do. Acknowledge that you are currently at different stages. Totally aspire to reach that point, of course, but before you try to get there, put in the reps, do the work, and enjoy the journey, enjoy the discipline, and respect the stakes of the audition room. I really hope that this was useful and an insightful video for you. And if you're looking for more guidance, more practice, then I highly suggest signing up to the Act Cool platform and connect with other actors there. And if you want to work on your material ahead of time, then all of the details for working with me privately on those speeches is in the description box below. Like and subscribe as always, but until next time,